Hi there, it's me, Sutonia, and I thought I'd go over a few fights that I had recently where either I or my opponent made some mistakes, and talk about how we could have done things a lot better in these fights. So, first fight, I'm in a claw, I'm against a Gamma and a Saber. I'm actually in a linked claw. The reason why I had links was because there was a Iceboxed Purifier around that was ganking people with 8 Purifiers, and I was trying to bait them with a claw with the Sig link and, you know, EM armor resistances from the claw. Anyway, this Gamma comes in and he just comes straight in at me. This is the first mistake that he made. He just approached me. He didn't try to kite me. I mean, in all fairness to him, I have links, so I have the bonus to scram range, and I also have the I'm also really fast with overheated micro warp drive, so he probably doesn't really have much of a chance against me, to be honest. Links are a massive force multiplier for frigate fights like this. Anyway, the mistake that I made here is that I repped prematurely. The reason why I tried to rep prematurely is because I thought there was going to be a lot more damage coming in than there was, and the reason why he isn't doing much damage to me is because of the signature radius link, and because he's using Fury missiles against me, and he doesn't have a web, he doesn't have a scram even. So he can't apply those Tech 2 missiles to me well at all, and you know, again, I'm linked, so I have incredibly good signature on the claw. It's actually 20 M signature, and you never want to use Tech 2 Fury missiles on a you know, against other figures if you don't have a web, and that just demonstrates it. And then Saber warps to him, he warps to his wreck or warps to him and fights me, but the Saber makes very big mistake here, is that he just rules me down, and in all fairness to him, this probably would have killed me if I wasn't linked, because the signature radius is, you know, playing a big part in this fight. But the mistake that he made here is that he had EMP loaded, and you never want to shoot Tech 2 Mimitar with EMP. He probably just thought, you know, it's a stiletto, it doesn't matter, or sorry, I'm in a claw, not a stiletto, but you know, I'm in an interceptor, so it doesn't really matter. But I actually got 80% EM resist on this claw. It's mostly because of the links, but I think it's 70% or something like that base. You know, you should definitely load fusion against a claw, and so I'm able to kill both this Saber and the Gamma in my claw. Another thing that the Saber could have done better is he could have kited me at range and used his fall-off bonus to his advantage, because the claw that I'm flying doesn't have a fall-off bonus and he does, and also if he was at a further range he wouldn't have any tracking problems like he did in this fight. Okay, so this is another clip where warping to a planet is really useful, and planet 6 in F2OY is so good because it's 60 AU away. It's great for splitting people up. These 2 crows follow me. I got a lot of interest on the station. There's about 10 ships on the station, but I couldn't engage them what they had, so I played around with them a bit, baited them. Then I warped to planet 6 and these 2 crows came in, and so I'm able to get on top of 1 crow straight away. I got pretty unlucky with my heat cycles there, because I got 2 damage cycles straight away from the heat, and I actually lose my MWD here on this one as well. But I'm able to get on top of the 2nd crow because he's orbiting me too closely. If he wasn't orbiting me so closely, I would have not heated and just burnt out and got away. One key thing that I did here is that I turned auto reload off on my auxiliary rep, and one area that I could be a lot better at in that fight was I didn't cycle my rep even though I had a lot of cap. I could have done that, and if the crow got another volley on me, he potentially could have killed me. And this just shows you another reason why warping to planets is so good, because you just see that gang arriving now, and I'm able to warp off. Okay, this next fight isn't really interesting at all. In terms of the fight, it's not very interesting, but I think how the fight happens is quite interesting when we're talking about on-grid separation and off-grid separation. So I go for this magnate, which is trying to salvage a wreck, and a gang of assault frigates and interdictors warp up to me. And what's interesting about that gang there is they only have 1 interceptor. So what that means is that the interceptor is the only thing that can follow me to the sun because of the interdictor bubble that they launch. So the malediction actually follows me, and I'm able to take down this malediction. Unfortunately for him, he has just a long point, so I can just keep on top of him with my scram, and I'm able to kill this guy despite this guy being in I think like a 15-16 man gang, and you know, his fleet mates can't even arrive on grid before he's dead. This is a fight with a Malediction and an Eris, and I saw these guys chilling on a gate, so I walked to the gate at range, and the Malediction started burning for me, and the Eris is still on the gate at 0, so the Eris isn't coming in at this point. But the Malediction comes in and attacks me, and I'm able to get a scram and web on him too. He also has a scram and web, and he misplays this fight very badly, and what this Malediction should do is try and kite me at the edge of rocket range, because he does full DPS. By brawling me down here at 0, what he's doing is he's allowing me to use Imperial Navy multi-frequency, which does a lot more DPS. And I also can use my Nosferatu module on him as well, so I can get more cap and tank longer. I mean, his objective here should ideally be to you know, just kite me at 7-8 kilometers and hold me down so he can stay alive as long as possible for his Eris friend to come in. And you can see he's trying to run at this point, but it's too late, and I make a pretty big mistake here as well, is that I try and fight this Eris instead of running, and I could have run. I get a pretty good orbit on this guy. Because he had neutron blasters, I thought what I could do is I could kite him out at range and kill him. But he does the right thing, I believe, and he has null loaded. And I should have ran as soon as the Eris came in. I could have gotten away from this fight if I tried to focus on getting away. So I end up dying there because I was greedy. And an Eris in a execution is already a tough fight, and by fighting him when I'm already in low cap, low auxiliary charges from the previous fight, it's just very greedy for me.